On today's episode of Homeworthy, we're in England visiting the charming home of entrepreneur Anna Hart. Anna, a former Londoner, now resides in this cozy and lived-in Victorian home with her husband. They've filled it with mementos from their travels and pieces that reflect their roots. As musicians, they've even carved out a music room that's perfect for relaxing and unwinding. Enjoy! You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. To shop items inspired by this and other Homeworthy episodes, be sure to check out the product links below for amazing furniture, accessories, and more.
Hey Homeworthy, I'm Anna and this is Dottie. Welcome to our house in Hertfordshire. Come on in. I'm Anna Hart. I'm a brand consultant, content creator, and huge fan of interior design. And we are in my home in Hertfordshire, which is just north of London. Welcome to our kitchen diner. One of the things that really appealed to us when we looked at this house is that this bit of work was already done. The previous owners had knocked it through. I think it was 3 or 4 rooms before. It's just a really practical space. We didn't fit this kitchen, but it's great. What I really like about it is there aren't many cupboards. Pretty much everything is in drawers. We did put this oven in. I love cooking, so we needed a really good oven. So we got one of those, although the slow cooker and the air fryer are kind of becoming slightly more important pieces as time goes on. Out this way we have a utility and a bathroom out there. So you've kind of got everything you need here. Coffee maker, I would save this in a fire. This is my favourite. This piece of furniture, it's just from IKEA, but it's followed me from every rental I've ever had in London, and it's falling apart, but I just can't get rid of it. Then we move into the dining room. I really wanted a kitchen sofa, so that was one of the first things that we got when we moved in. It is actually a sofa bed, but we've never used it. Like, it doesn't really, I don't know why we did that, but there's that. I really love Slim Aaron's photography. We've got a few in the house. This is one of them. This really looks like my friend's mum. So I always say, hello, Carol. This we picked up in a flea market. If you are in the UK, you absolutely have to go to Kempton Racecourt Market because it's the best. You go really early, mainly cash. It's great. This table is big, but you needed it for the space. I actually set an alarm for 5 in the morning to wake up and win this on eBay. So there's that. These are old school chairs that I spray painted black. We'd love to upgrade them at some point, but they kind of do the job. All of our cookbooks. Fabric-wise, you'll see a lot of William Morris in this house. I have consulted for them for a few years. So when this collection came out, I had my eye on it from the start. I am half Welsh, so my mother has very much put Welsh features in the house, so you'll also see a lot of Welsh blanket material throughout the house. This, as she'll want me to tell you, is the St David's cross print. Please tell me I'm right, because if not, I will get told off. And then this picture wall is kind of indicative of us, really, because there's a real mix of some really good stuff and then just stuff that we've picked up. This is a postcard from Paris that I got framed. One of my favourite things to do is to buy cheap frames and then take them to a framer and get a custom mount, which we also did for this. This was just a postcard from a visit to the V&A. Some London stuff. What else have we got? Obviously we have a Beatle and a tour poster because my husband works in music, and puffins because you get puffins where my mum's from, so that obviously had to be there. And that's the kitchen. This home is a Victorian Edwardian house. It's a pretty classic house for its time in that it's a double-fronted red bricked home. It was built by the man who owned the local brickmakers, So we have some quite interesting brickwork on the front of the house because he used all the different types of bricks in the exterior and stuff like that. So it was kind of a bit of a show home, I guess, which makes a lot of sense because there's a few quirks with this house that we are sort of uncovering as we go. We've lived here for 3 years. The house is about 3,500 square foot. There are 6 bedrooms, 3 bath or 3.5 bath, and we love it. Now I'm going to take you to the living room. Welcome to my living room. We have Dorothy here, or Dotty. Most of the time she's only Dorothy when she's naughty, which might well happen while we're trying to do this because she's following us around. This room was the first room we did when we moved in. I really wanted to have at least one room done so that we just had somewhere that was calm in the house when everything else was chaos. We literally did everything in here. Everything is new. We even put in the picture rails because they had been stripped out. One lovely little thing in this house is this is the only room with a central light. Every other room has spotlights. So we've made the most of this and put some Victorian cornicing back in. We love the bay window. The light is amazing. I knew I wanted it green because for me green is just the calm colour. So I knew I wanted that. So we did the walls. We put quite a lot of jute stuff in, the rug, the mini little ottoman, and then we used a mix of wood textures just to try and deformalise the space, because as much as this is a sort of slightly smarter space, I didn't want it to feel too done. The fireplace was already here, but we repainted it. This is, I think, London Stone by Farrow & Ball. The Matisse print we got from John Lewis. I took a while to find the art in this room. I knew exactly what I wanted in my head and I couldn't find it for ages. Finally picked these up at Ocker. This map here is really special because it's my great-grandfather's RAF map. So this was the map that he had when he was a pilot in the war, which means quite a lot to us. And what is quite cool is I live in a little hamlet and it actually does have the little hamlet on it. So we really like it. We have a lot of stuff. We travel a lot, and we try to always bring stuff back with us. So just on these shelves alone, we have, I think this guy was from South Africa. These guys were actually, I think they're actually from a bar. I'm not sure I'm supposed to have taken those, but we own these now. We have all sorts of candles and stuff. Like I'm a big one for, there's no such thing as too many candles lit. So we have all sorts from here. A few of these are antique, and then this is actually quite new from Addison Ross. We have the rechargeable lamp. I just really think it looks lovely to have proper light coming from the fireplace, which is nice. And then we have this elephant that came from India. Actually came from Delhi airport, but I suppose that's not important, so there's that. And then just family pictures, picture from our wedding, a few pictures of my sister and I growing up. Yeah, there's just all sorts here. We've got a little bit more William Morris. Of course, you have to have some Willoughby in an English home or an American home. That print seems to be everywhere now. And then these olive cushions, these olive leaf cushions are from Elizabeth Scarlett. I just really like how it kind of ties the botanicals to the wall and stuff. And these are from Soho Home. Yeah, we just try to get as much texture in here to just really calm the room down and just make it feel like you can just crash out in here. So, yeah. The sofa, love this couch. It probably is a little bit low for the room, but we just love it. The ottoman was custom made, so it's so big that we can pull it in, and in the winter we just have duvet days in here and just binge watch Netflix all day. This I picked up in a flea market. It's actually a Swedish bread container. When I'm on Instagram, it's always the piece that people ask about more than anything. Probably be quite easy to make, to be honest, but yeah, it took a while for us to find anything that fitted onto this because this is so huge. The curtains are from John Lewis. I think you can really tell that this room was the first room I did because I was quite pared back and probably a little bit timid to use patterns and things. So I went for something very simple and neutral. If I was redoing this space, I'd probably be a bit braver and put a pattern in, but we do really like these. For such a big window, I think we didn't want anything overbearing because it's kind of like 1/4 of this room is window. So yeah, so it kind of works. In terms of how we laid this room out, the sofa only fitted there. So that was that. We did actually put this cabinetry in, had this done. So it kind of made the natural place for the TV. And then in terms of the chairs, I bought one to start with, placed it in the bay window and realised it was way too small. So we ended up getting another one and it works really well. Like this room is the Christmas room. We have like the big tree here and it's all really lovely and it's just a really lovely family space. We're big fans, big fans. My design style is mainly centred around wanting a house to feel like a home. I never want anyone to feel like they can't put a mug down on a surface. That's one of our house rules here. My husband and I were quite lucky in that we do like the same kind of style. It's all quite muted tones and then we use artwork and accessories to kind of pull colour through and kind of bring our own personalities out. So now we'll just go across the hall to the snug. So this is our snug, or music room, or piano room, because it has the piano in it. My husband and I are both quite musical, particularly my husband. He's one of those annoying people who plays everything. But we did everything in this room. We put in all the cabinetry. The house didn't have any storage because it had almost been extended to an inch of its life. It meant that anything that was a cupboard was now like a bathroom or something. So we didn't actually have a single cupboard in the house. So we had to kind of come up with that. We love books, my husband's record collection as well. But actually when we got married, we asked that everybody gave us a coffee table book as a guest and wrote inside why they chose it for us. So that's why there's all of those along there. And it's pretty cool. You can just come in here and read one of those on a Sunday. We have all sorts, from a book on chickens, which I still don't really understand why we've got, to things that travel books, wine books, recipe books, all sorts. Quite a lot of Wes Anderson. You'll have a lot of David Bowie. I found this fireplace on the street. It was from a Marylebone tenement house and it cost me, I think it was £100 for the whole thing, including the slate bottom. Our builder let out an audible sigh when he saw this, so we got him to fit it. I absolutely love it. We've painted it the same colour as the fireplace in the other room, just so that there's continuity. Again, we put in the cabinetry, and then art in here, I guess, is quite a big thing. We absolutely love Keith Haring, and this is a blow-up of a David Bowie record cover, so we did that ourselves and had that printed. There's a lot of music stuff in here. This piano is my husband's pride and joy. He loves it. Moving this was an entire operation that we apparently needed specialists for, so I don't know. We've got a lot of music on the wall. We've got Mumford, Elton. No house is complete without an Elton picture in my view. And then here we have the sheet music from Billy Joel playing in Sydney for Piano Man. That was a present my husband gave me. All sorts of stuff. David Shrigley, the artist here with a rhino, big fan of him. We have, oh, this poster came from a Paris street market. I worked in Paris for a while and I love going back there. So anything French is all me. I'm all over it. A Beatles picture, I just quite like it. It's a bit different to the classic kind of them crossing a zebra crossing. I just really like it. So yeah. The goal with this room was for it to just be super relaxing. In winter, this is just a really easy place to spend time. It's where we watched a lot of sports, films. It's where we just have dinner on our laps in the evening. It's just super chilled out. We'll play on the piano. That makes it sound a little bit like we live in a movie, but One of us will play on the piano. We hate playing music in front of each other, which is a bit of a weird quirk. So if my husband's away, I'll play, but if he's back, I won't. Mainly because he's a lot better than me and I don't really want to admit that. We just wanted it to feel cosy in here. We didn't put the picture rail in because we didn't want to formalise the room. We just wanted people to just literally just be able to just relax in here. Furniture in here. This sofa, we will replace this sofa at some point, but it's so comfortable that we just are going with it. Like, I can't even remember where it's from in terms of the cushions and stuff. It's just more the merrier, because the whole point is you just make yourself as comfy as possible in here. More Morris, more Elizabeth Scarlett. Lizzie actually made these for us as a wedding gift. And then this chair, I like working from here. It's quite a nice chair to just sit in. I love the orange colour. I've got my weighted blanket, my baby. We didn't want things to match too much, so this ottoman is just basically a beanbag. When you have a young dog, you cannot be precious about things. So, I mean, no dogs on the furniture. It's going really well. But I like mixing and matching and not caring too much about things being too themed. Now we'll go upstairs and I'll show you the primary bedroom and suite. Oh, hello. This is our primary bedroom. When we moved into the house, this entire room was navy, even the windows. So it felt quite dark. It's also at the back of the house and it doesn't get a huge amount of natural light. We were actually really restricted on where we could put things because there's lots of windows which are quite low on the wall, and there's a fireplace which didn't look like that when we moved in, and odd placements of radiators in this house, which is very much on the list to sort and we've just not got there. The bed, I mean, you've got to have a good bed. So we bought this pretty early on. This is actually a rug and I didn't look at the size and when it arrived it was way too small, so I had it framed and it looks quite cool above there. I wanted to have a lot of fabrics in this space, and as much as I knew I wanted everything to be green so it fitted together, I didn't want to be too precious with it. So we've got stripy linen, we've got some English, or probably should say Scottish tweed, I think. And then we have the stripe repeat from the cushions here on the chair. And you'll see there's another one of those chairs in the ensuite. This is a Sanderson fabric that's actually a linen. So we had it backed so it's blackout. Repeated the botanicals here. This is from Cox & Cox, I think. It's full of stuff. We're quite lucky because we have dressing rooms, so we don't need to have a wardrobe in here, which would actually, I think, there's nowhere for it to go, so that's quite a good thing. But shall I take you through to the dressing room and the bathroom? You're about to see the most unnecessarily big bathroom, but I'll explain why in a minute. This now, in terms of where we are in the house, we're now sitting above the garage extension. We have this dressing area. These were all orange pine when we moved in, so we got rid of that straight away. Don't look too closely at the rug because this is where the puppy lived when she first came to join us, so we need to get rid of the rug and we haven't got there. Then we kept the linen going, the same print throughout, and it runs into the bathroom. So the bathroom is really big. We thought about re-sectioning it up and putting a utility upstairs, but because there's no natural hallway, it just meant that there would be sort of like room after room and it wouldn't have a great flow to it. It was already a bathroom, but the only thing that we've kept is the bath. Everything else is completely new. I wanted this room to feel like a hotel bathroom. This was my bougie in the house. This is what I wanted. I've always wanted to have an armchair in the bathroom, so we repeated the armchair from the bedroom in here. I just really like hanging out in here. One of us will be in the bath, the other one will just tell us about our day and things like that. We have these sloped walls, which made sort of positioning a little bit more awkward. So we put in this shower unit, which is very helpful. and works well for the space. There's a lot of hidden storage. You're not allowed to see behind here. My husband works in music and he's often on the road, on buses and things like that, and grabbing showers here, there and everywhere. So I wanted him to be able to have a really nice shower at home. He's also really tall, so that's why this is so high up. Whereas my thing for the space was, we already had the bath, and I'm a bath person, but was the storage, because there was no storage in here at all. There was a lot of spray foam and it was quite strange. We had this custom made, Simply Bathrooms helped us with this bathroom, and I think the unit was made by Parker Howley. I found these knobs actually in a place in LA. I can't remember where, I think it's Shop Amber, I think in LA. I really believe that black works like punctuation in a space, so it's your kind of full stops and your commas and things. So I try to use black in rooms just to tidy a room up. So you've got like the black toilet seat, a few black metal details. This towel radiator was a little bit of an extravagant purchase. It was handmade by a guy in Lincolnshire in England. This is an old sewing box, but works really well. Move it over to the bath and it's got all my stuff in it. The flooring is slate, which is a bit of a nod to Wales again, because Welsh slate is the best, if you ask me. We repeated the check that's in the bedroom with the rug. It's not quite the right size, but I just haven't got there yet. These sconces are from Pookie. I think they have the best range of sort of IP regulation lights. They're really good. I wanted lights that were practical, so if you were getting ready in here, they worked, but also kind of served as mood lighting if you were in the bath. So it means we don't have to have the full lights on very often. I'm not a big light person, which when you live in a house with so many spotlights is challenging. And also just the texture. We put in the tongue and groove paneling here just to break up, because there's just so much wall. We didn't want to tile it because I thought that would make it feel quite sterile. I like bathrooms to feel like rooms and not sterile spaces, or sort of, I like rooms that just feel like this design doesn't change when you go into bathrooms. So we tried to make it as sort of the same as the feel of the rest of the house as possible. Last but not least, we're in the office stroke dressing room. This is just my room. It's probably the easiest way to describe it. We're lucky enough to have some spare room, so it meant that I'm able to have this space, which is brilliant. I work from home most of the time, so this is this setup over here. I have my schedule there, which actually is just not accurate at all. Like, I don't follow that at all, but it's good to have a goal. Dottie sleeps in this window on this horrible old cushion that I really want to get rid of, but it's her favourite thing in the world. So any other cushion I put there, she just wouldn't sit there. So I've had to give over. Then this is my sort of makeup getting ready counter. And then this whole wall is storage for clothes and suitcases and everything here. I can't open a cupboard because we've had to tidy up a lot for you guys to be here. So I'm a bit worried what will fall out if I open them. But there we are, there she is in the window. This is, yep, she won't sleep anywhere else, on anything else, so that's her. We have my guitar that my husband bought me for my birthday, but I got myself the dog, so I'd be lying if I said that this has been played much, because I haven't exactly had a huge amount of time. And then this trunk, I love. It's something my husband, this is my husband's. I don't know where it's come from, probably some tour somewhere at some point. We did use it as a coffee table in our old house, and it lives here now. It's normally about piled this high with clothes, so there's that. And the wallpaper, I knew I wanted this wallpaper in the house before we even moved in. It is by a lovely Scottish company, a lady called Fiona runs it. It's called Bluebell Grey. I love it, really love it. I'm thinking about changing the woodwork in here to blue, just to make it a bit less white, because this wall is all completely white, but we'll pick our battles. This artwork here is actually from an event that I went to in Italy, in Lake Como, and this was the menu. I love just framing sort of inexpensive stuff. It's my favourite thing to do. And this is an illustration of the villa we stayed at, which was the invitation for the trip. So, yeah. Home is everything to me. It always has been. My parents, I think actually, without doing it consciously, I've kind of mirrored the style of the house that I was brought up in. My parents live in a Victorian red brick house. So I think when we saw this came up, both of us just instantly went, yeah, that's our house. For me, it's just about being comfortable at somewhere that you can just relax and be yourself and have loads of family time. It's been lovely having you, Homeworthy, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.